hell no, those days are over, man. That's slave mentality, whereby we're taught just to honor and literally praise those who are doing works whilst they are alive. We want to, it's no use doing it once they've passed away, man. So, Brother Lee, you're our keynote speaker, brother. You'll be coming on a lot later, to be honest with you. But, brother, we salute you. And I'm going to say this, brothers and sisters, if you see the works that Brother Lee Jasper does, drop some damn ones in the chat room. I want to see, is it just me that honor this brother and sees that every single opportunity, the brother is literally in the mainstream press, he's on newspaper, he's on radio, he's on television. He takes a lot of the slang, but he doesn't worry about it because he knows that what he's teaching is right and exact for our people. And it doesn't matter what the masses think. He knows he's a voice for the voices, not just black people, but the poor white people who have literally been used and abused by this system. So, Brother Lee, we salute you once again, and we can't wait to feel your fire later on as our keynote speaker. Brothers and sisters, as you know, this is Windrush month. And it's so beautiful how Allah has done this, brothers and sisters, because today's the 21st. And we know the whole of June, we honor the pioneers of the first Windrush generation. But officially, Windrush Day is June the 22nd. So thanks to Sister Semerah, we've positioned this show, and this is our one show. We dedicate the whole show to Windrush and that first generation that are coming through the doors. And so, brothers and sisters, I love the fact that I see the works that's happening today in our community, and I'm amazed and heartened to see that we have organizations who are set up to honor Windrush 365 days a year. And we are blessed tonight, my brothers and sisters, to have with us our beautiful Queen, Sister Sandra of the Windrush Generation Legacy Association up in Croydon. And brothers and sisters, before I bring the sister on, I want to give a shout out to Sister Semerah. Semerah, are you with us?
Greetings, family. Greetings, King. Wonderful to see you, Brother Andrew, as always. Respect to Brother Lee and all of our wonderful guest speakers. I am here, Medea.
How's your week been, my queen? How's your week been?
Oh, it's been wonderful, wonderful. So much has happened in the space of a week. Last week, shout out and thank you to everyone who attended the Digital Marketing 101 webinar. We had fantastic feedback. We had a lot of returnees, but also a lot of newbies. So it was wonderful to share with you all on that. And I had the honor of training again our young leaders. This time I was at Westside on Saturday. So the week before I was at Lewisham Young Leaders Academy, and this Saturday just gone I was at the Westside up in the Willesden Junction, Harlesden area. Brothers and sisters, we have some wonderful young people. And Brother Andrew, is it okay if I just share a couple of things with our family very quickly?
Share, sister, share.
I think it's important because a lot of our young people get a lot of negative press, and everyone that follows this platform and show, you know that we are all about positive Black solutions and propaganda. And I just wanted to share a few things from the young people. I was very honored that when I was there at Westside in May, I received a beautiful handwritten letter, which I'm not going to share the contents of because it's private. But our dear sister, Makeda, wrote this to me, and it was wonderful for me to see her again this Saturday so that I could show it to her, that I've kept it and it is very near and dear to my heart. And also last month when I was there, little Rashawn, he drew this picture of me, and he wrote about gratitude, intention, forgiveness, our team and tribe, and self-care, because that's what I was teaching on back in May. So the reason I share that is because it was so wonderful when I arrived and they said, "Oh, you're back." And so this time I actually spoke to them about personal development and the importance of us having goals. And there is a big difference between a dream or a wish and goals. The main difference is that your dreams are supposed to be there. Dream as big as you can. Have that imagination. But the difference in the goal is that it has a specific time frame that you're going to achieve that. It's a roadmap. So I said to them, I want you to dream as big as you can. And we're also going to put some plans together, which is that's that roadmap, your steps to achieving your dreams, which are your goals. So we went through a lot of exercises, and little Abdul Rahim, who is Makida's brother, he actually at the end of the class came up to me, and I don't know if anyone can see this, but he drew this. And it's the logo for Westside Young Leaders Academy. And it says, open the paper. I was like, very authoritative. I love that. And look, I don't think you can see it, but he drew.
We can see it.
And he was at the front of the class. And that was just so, it was so sweet. And he's put personal development session. And he really, like, we did some public speaking as well. And he really took to it. And so just a shout out to his parents, who I had the honor of meeting at the end of the session. And then I also got this again from little Rashawn, which was so cute, where we spoke about specific goals, and he wrote down what SMART means. It's an acronym for anyone who's not familiar with that concept of specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound when it comes to the goals. But we've got some beautiful, beautiful 8 to 16-year-olds that we are all responsible for. And a shout out goes to the parents of brother Marley. I believe he's 10 years old. This young king stood up. I made everyone do a bit of public speaking. And he said, Miss, sis, can I come to the front of the class? I said, sure, come on over, little king. He said, yeah, come on over. So he came to the front of the class. And my question to everyone was, why are goals important? So now they understood, what a goal is. I said to them, okay, why do you think they're important? And when he broke down why he thought goals were important, I said, I salute you, young king. In his own words, I'm going to paraphrase. He said that you want to make sure that you have goals. This is important for us as adults. You want to make sure that you have goals so you can stay motivated. And it should prevent you from ending up broke because you are determined to get what you want in all areas of life. I said, high five, young king. That's right. That's right. I said, I wasn't too sure about the broke part, but I said to him, I love that you've used your own words and you are phenomenal. And at the end of the session, he gave me feedback and he said, may I shake your hand? I said, this young king. He's only about 9, correct me if I'm wrong, brother. I think he's 9 or 10 years old. Forgive me, I've forgotten how old our young king is. But I mean, there are so many students that I'm so proud of, students that have autism, who stood up in front of the class and they said, yes, miss, I want to stand up in front of the class and share. Very dynamic. Our girls.
So a little surprise. We have Brother Marley and his mum listening to the show. Sister Linda, can you unmute yourself? Or can we see Brother Marley? There's a little surprise. I know you wasn't expecting this, sister. Can you unmute yourself, or can we see our little Brother Marley? I know you're shocked. You might be in your night clothes. I don't know. Oh my gosh. If we can.
Hello.
Oh, you're there. Is that Marley? Oh, they gone? Or is that me?
I think I could hear, but we might have muted them. I could hear something.
I think that could have been me accidentally. Oh, that was me. I literally took them off accidentally. Let me see very quickly if we get it back on again, because this young boy, he is so, I keep telling his mother, just amazing, just an amazing. If you can hear me again, Marley, or Sister Linda, Mummy Linda, are you there?
Yes, Sister, yeah, she's back.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. How are you doing? Can we see you, or are you unavailable to be seen? Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, wow. Marley, did you hear what Miss has been saying about you? Because I've told you each and every week, brother, I'm not joking. I wasn't even there on Saturday. I was not there, but Sister Semerah, who took the class, she phoned me near enough in tears. Brother, you are an amazing young man. I want you to understand this. Yeah? Sister Semerah, what do you want to say to this young king?
I am so proud of you, Brother Marley. When you said, can I come to the front of the class? I said, that's right. You take ownership, you take charge. And it doesn't matter if we quote unquote fail. Remember, we spoke about new experiences and how that can help us with our goals. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Because you spoke about archery, is that correct?
Yes.
So I'm so proud of you. Your confidence is beautiful, how you were supporting the other brothers, the younger brothers in the class. When remember, we were looking for pens. And I saw the notes that you took from my previous class. Remember, you showed them to me.
Yes.
So I want you to hear this, young king, is that in life, we're going to always have ups and downs, but you keep being an amazing student.
Absolutely.
You take those notes. And anytime there's an opportunity that you think, yeah, I want to do that, don't let anything stop you. You keep going. You keep being true to who you are. You have a beautiful spirit.
Beautiful spirit.
Beautiful. So you keep being you. You keep putting your hand up and answering questions. It doesn't matter if the answer is wrong or right. You keep making sure your voice is heard and supporting other people if they're feeling a little bit shy or a little bit sad. You keep being beautiful when you support. Doesn't matter if it's our sisters or our brothers, but you just keep being you, sir. Very proud of you.
Brother Marley, we've got nearly 200 laptops listening to you right now. We've got much more than that, but behind the scenes, but we've got the laptop count right now. We've got nearly 200 people. What would you like to say to your community? What would you like? I'm not going to say nothing. What would you like to say? You wasn't even expecting this, I know. But what would you like to say to because you are a special young man. I want you to know that you are a very special young man. What would you like to say?
Well,
Don't be shy.
well, what I think is that which is important is that if you like something, for example, you really need to motivate yourself, push yourself to do something.
Yes.
Because if you don't, well, there's not really much of a point in you doing it.
Right.
So this is why you really need to try with whatever you're doing.
Come on, teach me, soldier, teach me. Wow. And what do you want to be when you grow up, brother? What's your future looking like for you?
An architect.
Oh, lick shot, Pom Babylon,
Right.
and all of the Babylonians. Brother, Rastafari to the highest degree. Mummy, are you there?
I'm here.
Mummy, you got a beautiful son. I want to tell you this, sister. What do you want to say to us about your son?
Oh, do you know what I mean? He is an amazing little boy. He's always trying to do his best. He's always trying to help others. He's so respectful. He's so helpful, and he never gives up.
Oh, beautiful. Sister, he is a reflection of you. It says in scripture, you know the tree by the fruit it bears. So when we see the beauty of your son, sister, understand, we know that you are such a beautiful person internally, externally, and all around you, sister. So we thank you. We thank you for always supporting Westside Young Leaders Academy, because you travel across London every single week. From South London, you travel with your son, and you don't even drive, I don't believe, across.
No, we don't drive.
That sister. Parents, are you listening to this? This sister wakes up with her son in South London, travels right across London every single Saturday morning to make sure her son is getting the food that he does not get in the mainstream system. Brother Marley, we got a fantastic brother later on called Lee Jasper. I'm hoping that by the time that that he's ready to present at your wake, because it's important that you see strong black men like this, and you take in this wisdom and you take in this strength. Because brother, I'm telling you now, my king, you are going to be so important for our future tomorrow in a few years' time. I'm looking in your eyes, brother, and there's something special about you. Yeah?
Yes.
All right, and brothers and sisters, If you're feeling Marley, before we carry on, if you're feeling Marley, drop some fives. If you're feeling his mother, drop some fives. If you're feeling young black boys, drop some fives. Come on, man, don't hate.
Oh, thank you all.
Show some love on this
Thank you.
platform, man. Marley, this is for you. Mummy, this is for you.
Thank you all for your fives and your salutes. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. We all have to come together as a family and help our young men and young ladies of the future. We all have to do it.
Come on, my queen. Come on, my queen. All praises are due to the Most High. Thank you so much. Okay, Marley, we're going to carry on with the show. Sister Lisa, we carry on with the show.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, sister. You can turn off your mic and your thing, and we put you back in the attendee. Brothers and sisters, that was literally impromptu. That they didn't know. Sister Semerah didn't know. This is how we drop it, brothers and sisters. We just move with the spirit. We are a revolutionary platform, but our revolution is based on positive self-love. We don't call for no violence. We don't call for no hatred. We don't call for it. We are so interested and so consumed with loving each other. And we don't care what religion. We don't care about your political ideology. We don't care about your spiritual ways. We don't care about your sexuality. We don't care whether you're poor. We don't care whether you're rich. We don't care if you're old. We don't care if you're young. If you're dealing with positive vibrations, we're here for you, brothers and sisters. That's all we're down for. Sister Semerah, I believe, I'm hoping that the sister's still on, because I can't see her now. I pray that she's still on. We've got a fantastic sister, Sister Sandra. She's still there with her. Sandra, can you turn your mic and your screen on? Sandra is the project manager. I may have got that wrong, but I believe that she's a project manager. And for the Windrush Generation Legacy Association, which is based in Croydon, doing some great works. And I'm really going to hand over Sister Semerah and Sister Sandra. Sister Sandra, how are you doing, my queen?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. And excuse the glow.
No, sister, we love the glow, sister.
Love it.
We love the glow. Sister, we honor you. We can see your beautiful shine. And, you know, sister, I just want to thank you. And I can't wait to hear your discussion with Sister Semerah. And let's get some food out of this, man. So Sister Semerah, all yours, my queen.
Oh, thank you, Brother Andrew. So first of all, greetings, Sister Sandra. Wonderful to have you join us, sis.
Well, I'm so honored to be asked, and thank you so much for hosting me today on your show. I feel it's really great that you've done so, and meeting your family. They obviously were in tune with what I was doing and what I was talking about, hence why we're here today. So thank you very much.
No, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that what I would like for everyone to hear from you is why the Windrush Generation Legacy Association was even created, and why did you choose to actually support it and be the special projects coordinator, I believe?
Okay, so what happened, it's like I had a dream. I've heard those words before, but it was something that was in me. Growing up as a young child, my parents obviously came from the Caribbean, and my parents happened to come from two different islands. So I've had different experiences within the Caribbean community, because one's a smallie and one's a biggie. So, you know, I always wanted to know more, but when I was at school, there was no more. There was actually nothing. And no matter what I asked people, I used to hear the stories from the elders and what it was like and what they did. But anytime I tried to find anything somewhere, there was nothing. So when I got the opportunity to go to the Caribbean, I was like a sponge. I was going here, going there, doing this, doing that. And I just wanted to know. And the one thing that kept coming up was slavery. And I thought, well, my parents are a bit older than slavery time, so they never experienced that themselves. So what else was there in between? And I held on to that thought for many years. And to cut a long story short, I was talking to somebody about, I need to show this because I like talking about it, but our second, third, fourth, possibly fifth generation don't even know what it was like, what our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents experienced when they first arrived. And actually, where do you go to find this information? Because there's nothing around as far as I'm concerned. And I know there have been big establishments and big museums that have very kindly put the front room together. But that's only part of the story. There's nothing about the journey. There's nothing about what it was like in the countries that people came from. And there's nothing really much about the Commonwealth other than it was very, let me say, patronizing. Okay, let's put it in that way. Now, I know that my dad came from a large family and everybody was skilled. That was the thing that people had to be, was skilled in some way, shape or form. And I know that between his family, they all wanted to do something different, but there wasn't the opportunities. And then they got this opportunity to come to the UK. But many of them didn't use their skills because they were pigeonholed. And albeit that I didn't know what was around at that time, you know, I came a lot later actually, but I didn't know. I decided that I wanted to find out more about how people came, why they came, and why some people didn't go back. Now, I've met people who did go back to the respective countries because a lot of people said that they were going to come here for 3 or 5 years. But some people who had what I would say is a mixed relationship from 2 different countries, they either stayed in the UK or they had to choose one and then decided whether they were going to go back as young people or go back as older people. So there's a lot of things around there. So my quest of finding out more information, I was talking to somebody about it and they said to me, well, you know what, I've had a similar idea like that. Maybe we can work together. Anyway, move on a few years, here we are. And then lockdown happened. Would you believe it? We eventually said, we're still going to keep this on the back burner. We're going to do this. And the day before we were due to open, we had a flood in the unit. And it was like, what is hanging on? And in the morning, I said, we can't open tomorrow. And then people like my sister came, my friend's sister came. We found cleaners that were helping us. We were pulling out water with the lids of buckets, everything to try and get this thing drained because the water was so high, it was ankle deep. And then we were there for hours and people were just helping us. And I said, you know what, after all this, we need to open. You know, something has said, despite what's gone on, if we can't get over this in a day, then we're never going to do this. And that's how we opened last year on the 23rd of August.
Fantastic. And so what is the actual purpose then of the association? Because obviously it's to tell our stories. It's, I always say for us, by us. But what else would you say is the main purpose and vision of the association?
It's about education, and it's not just for our people as we see it. We see it in threefold. We see it as an education for our young people. We see it as an education for people, but it's also a reminiscence for our elders. Because one of the things, you go into care homes and people are sitting there, they're enjoying themselves. Don't get me wrong. They are enjoying themselves and they are being taken care of. But who's talking to them about bacchanal? Who's talking about them about fish cakes? Who's talking about the, you know, shove halfpenny games they used to play? They're not talking about that. So, you know, in our unit, we have set up the whole household. So we've got that bedroom, you know, we've even got the mothballs, the candy striped sheets. Yeah, we've got the quill. We've got the little lamp that people used to use. And we've even got smelling salts that still smell from the 1960s. So that just tells you that people don't always throw things away. But it's also about legacy. What have our generation brought that we are able to leave a legacy for our younger people and people around? Because at the end of the day, when people say granny's passed or granddad's passed, uncle's passed, and we're going to put this stuff in a skip, where's our heritage going? Yeah. Already it's not written about or talked about or spoken about anywhere. You know, even today, I had to say to somebody, tomorrow's Windrush Day. Why are you only talking about the Queen's Jubilee? Why are you only talking about Armed Forces Day? Why are you not including the people who came and fought in World War I and World War II and the significant impact that they made? So Sorry, don't get me started. So this is why I said, you know, we've got to talk about this, because we have come and we have built this country.
Absolutely.
Without us coming in 1948, which is the main thing. And let me tell you, people were here from way before that. They just weren't here in those numbers. Yeah. But people seem to forget that as part of the Commonwealth, we were entitled to be here. And then you want to kick us out when we want to pay respect to our elders, to our family, and go abroad and attend a funeral, and then say, no, you can't come back. So we want to show the positive side. This is what we did. We were invited, yeah, because many people who come into the unit said, how comes there are so many refugees from the Caribbean? And I said, we are certainly not refugees. We came with good heart, with good hopes to build this country back to where it could be and better. People do not realize the richness that the Caribbean community has brought to the culture of the British community, okay? Notting Hill Carnival came about because of the disconnect, okay? And people said, right, okay, we're gonna make it better. They didn't shy away. They said, okay, let's do something to bring us all together. This is how Notting Hill Carnival came about, you know, and I'll just tell you a very quick story. When my great uncle came, he came in 1959, okay? He came as a young man. He was actually a scholar and couldn't find work. In the end, he worked for London Transport until his retirement. He worked on the Northern Line being a train driver. And many people did that. But you know what? He never gave up that fight of who could he teach and what could he do. He was always speaking to people. And it's people like him that decided eventually to stay, because he told me his initial thoughts were he came with his Sunday best and that was all he had. He saw the racism and he wasn't worried about that. And then he said, you know what? Racism isn't going to beat me. The cold is not going to beat me. I'm going to stay here and fight my fight. And he stayed here for 60 years. My great uncle is now 88. Okay, so he is still telling me the stories, and I give thanks that he's still here. He is the youngest of my grandmother's family who are surviving, and he's always still got a story to tell. And that is so wonderful from so many people. Once that person has gone, the story has gone, and this is what we've got to share. And this is why we capture the various things and take the stories and sell the books and so on. So, you know, it's about coming down and talking to people, sharing your stories, reminiscing with the older people in our generations to encourage them to have fun, remember their stories, and tell us a little bit about their life and what they can do. I hope that covers that.
It does, my love, it does. And I mean, before we finish up today, it's so important for everyone to know how we can actually get more information and support the movement and the mission of the association. So what would you say would be the best way that we can get more information and support? Are there any events? You said that because I'm going to come to the actual association. I haven't been, family, but my gran and my mum, how I actually have connected with Sister Sandra, they actually visited and they had such a brilliant time. And the impact that the association had on my mum, but most importantly, if I can say so, on my gran, is why I actually said, you know what, if it's had that impact, that profound impact on my mum and my grandmother, then how many other mums, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts and uncles would also benefit from knowing about the association and supporting it so we can keep it going? Because am I correct in thinking that this is self-funded, and I'm trying to do my best, because everyone knows that I don't normally mince my words, to say that our wonderful council have supported in just face and waving and given a space to the association. That's pretty much it. So this is a self-funded association, an organization for us.
Well, the council haven't actually done anything for us. We pay our bills. Yeah. So what we do is we fundraise. I don't know if you can see totally behind me. We are in the Whitgift Centre in Croydon. We're on the second floor. We're Marks and Spencer's End. If anybody knows where it is, walk up and you'll find us. We're on Instagram, also on Facebook. If you want to get to us via email, it's info@thewindrushgla.co.uk. And you can also get us on 020 377 545. We do have various events going on. So like, Easter Market, we've done that recently. I know there will be a Windrush Day event going on. So there will be a few dignitaries going there tomorrow. Unfortunately, I won't be there. Sorry about that, but I'm in hotter climes. There will be a games day. One of the things that's important is to play the games that we used to play as a Caribbean household. So on the 2nd of July, 12 till 4, I've got a dominoes and Ludo board games day going on. It's going to be a lot of fun because we've got another guy from the Caribbean who hand makes Ludo boards, and he's going to be teaching people to play. We've got people from the Caribbean who also said they haven't ever played dominoes in a group. So we're going to get a little, well, let's say we'll just have a little bit of fun at a little bit of the tournament that we're going to have going on. So it's all for the competitive people. Come in, have a laugh. There'll be food and drink on sale. And again, Caribbean treats, because we don't always get to. One of the things that I will be working on will be a Caribbean cookbook, you know, how mummy used to make it, because these recipes are going, and we're asking people from around the Caribbean region to give us their family recipes, tell us what it is they like to make. Does anybody know about pepper pot? I'm not sure about that. Another Guyanese dish might know about conkeys, a Bajan dish. Lots of people know about church chicken, don't they? Yeah. Jerk pork. Jerk pork is the favorite of lots of people. So again, how do you do it? Share those recipes. Mum, dad, uncle, brother can't necessarily always do it, but they can oversee you doing something. And it's about encouraging that family connection, the community to work together and kind of lift each other's spirits. Yeah. It's about positivity, showing that we have put so much into this country. Why can't we take something back in a positive way and share with all of those people who are around us?
Absolutely. I do have a question that's come in, my lovely,
Sure.
from Brother Kelson, who, by the way, was offering some driving lessons to Sister Linda and for Brother Marley's mum there. So I just want to shout that out.
Lovely.
I know, but we're a very giving family on this platform. But we have the question, which is, he's doing his dissertation on Notting Hill Carnival. Are you able to help with getting him some information from the founders of the festival at all? That's his question.
Not particularly. We're not connected to the Notting Hill Carnival, but if you can message me, I know of somebody who may be able to give you some information, if that helps.
Perfect. So I've put your details in the chat for everyone to see there. He's put great. And so fantastic. Before you go, sis, it's important that everyone understands that this mission, this movement is self-funded. And it is for all of us collectively to see how best that we can ensure that the association not only stays open, but is able to build and grow to be that legacy. So how best can we then support the association and everyone connected to it by way of donations and funding? How can we support you?
The best thing is, we have a website. I'll drop that in the chat shortly. I may have already given you the details. We have a website where there's a donation page, right? So we welcome everybody to help us. And this is the reason why we opened, because we were determined to open. And if it took whatever is on our backs to get it open, that's what we have been doing. But also we encourage everybody to come in and actually see us as well. We have booklets on sale which talks about the stories. So we have engaged with people, written stories. You'll also find my own personal family story in there about my parents, how they came. You will see that there are nursing association, other groups that come together. We have a coffee morning. Come in and see people, exchange that conversation. Yeah, that's the way to support us, keep people coming in. But most of all, we want young people to learn about the social history that is still current. So we're encouraging the schools to come in, bring the classes in, and actually have a look at what we do. The classes that have come in has thoroughly enjoyed it. For example, I tell you, we were even doing some scar moves. It was fantastic to see the kids going and getting their arms up. It was great, you know. So not just talking about, you know, the actual history of, but thinking about the exhibitions that we do in the on the exhibition that is there at the moment is Leave to Remain, which will be launched tomorrow. We have just taken down Afro hair, and there was so much information about how we as a people with Afro hair have styled it, teased it, coaxed it, combed it, plaited it, twisted it, but yet still we are getting our young people excluded from school because of having an Afro or having a plait, sorry, or, you know, little things like that. So we talked about the Halo Code. This is a code for Black people, and it's about getting the information and making sure your child stays in school, because you've always been taught that education is key. Now, without doing something positive, how is that child going to get that education if they're excluded because of their hair? So therefore, we encourage you, come and see the education, come and think about what it is you'd like to do, give us a donation, buy a book, support our events when they go, and just look at the website for further information and a full legacy.
Oh, thank you ever so much. Can we drop some 5s in the chat for Sister Sandra and the Windrush Generation Legacy Association? I've been putting the links in the chat, so hopefully everyone now has access. And please, let's make sure that we're supporting with our funds, we're supporting with our feet. I will definitely be visiting, but I have a surprise for you, Sister Sandra, and for everyone on the platform. Because you see, when we talk about our Windrush pioneers, which is what they are, and for those who have transitioned, may they rest in eternal peace. It's important that we do collect these stories and give people their flowers whilst they're here. As Brother Andrew made reference to in regards to Brother Lee Jasper up there. For me, he's up there on my screen. And I'm going to try and not cry. You all know that I'm a crier, but I'm very honored because, as I said to you all, it was my mother and my grandmother as to why Sister Sandra and I have been able to connect. And Brother Andrew has been incredibly gracious in allowing us to actually hear from that generation, from the Windrush generation. So Brother Andrew, is there anything that you want to say before I actually present our surprise?
Our surprise guest. I want to just say, lick shot on Babylon with rice and peas. I can't wait for this guest. Brothers and sisters, I know you're going to show pure love because this is stupendous. This had to be a 5s for this one. Come, my queen. Come, my queen.
So everyone, I'm going to move over and introduce you to the matriarch of my family. And I'm so honored that we have my grandma. So this is Mama Mavis. This is Grandma Matt.
Make some noise.
Oh.
This beautiful queen, I have the privilege of calling my grandma. For those of you who remember when it was Mother's Day, I said that I have 4 mothers, and I'm very honored to sit next to my second mom. This, I'm not going to cry. This woman.
Cry in the backside, cry.
No, you know I'm a crier, but this woman right here.
All right, sure. Let it out, man.
I'm so honored to have this woman in my life. So
beautiful
honored.
Queen.
So honored. And oh, I love you, Grandma. She's one of my best friends. Fact. And I say that without hesitation. And so it was because of Grandma's passion when she met Sister Sandra and saw everything they were doing at the association. She said, "You can't get them on your show with Brother Andrew and help them raise some money?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Everybody needs to know what them is doing. Can you not do something?" I said, "Yes, Grandma, I'm going to do something." So So that is why we put together, that's not the only reason why we put together the Windrush special for today, but we thought it befitting myself and brother Andrew that we introduced you to my one of my heroes and one of our heroes collectively from that generation. So I know that you wanted to say hello to Sister Sandra.
Sister Sandra again. Hello. Hello, everyone.
So what we're gonna do is, and I can see big up to Auntie Audrey, Auntie Denise are on here, Dad's on here, obviously Mom and everyone. We are all one family, as you know, Grandma. We talk about this show all the time. My gran has actually tuned into the show on a number of occasions. So so this isn't new to her, but I thought it would be really interesting to actually hear from someone from the Windrush generation itself, for us to actually hear their testimonial, and rather than us assume, it's better to actually know, correct? So I'm just going to have a chit chat with my gran and let you all be flies on the wall, because there's so much that I still actually don't know. So if you will humor me, then I want to just have that dining room chat with my gran. Is that okay, family? Let's see if I have everyone's permission.
Come on now, come on now, come on.
Wonderful. So yes, this is Grandma Mavis or Mama Mavis, Grandma Mac, however you wish to address her. But I think, Grandma, it'd be really interesting for everyone to know, first of all, well, where do you come from exactly?
I'm from St. Elizabeth in Jamaica.
District
So did you hear that? The district Red Bank. So for anyone who's from St. Elizabeth, come in. We're all family, to be fair. Oh, so Sister Diana, hey, so your granny's from there too. And Sister Daisy, wonderful. Oh yes, and shout out to Sister Daisy as well and her daughter Amina. But Grandma, out of interest, what would you say when you were growing up as a child? Because this is actually quite important. When you were growing up, what did you hear about England growing up as a child?
Well, when I was growing up as a child, I didn't hear much about England.
Okay.
Because when you go to school, they don't teach about England.
So they didn't refer to the mother country or anything like that too tough?
No.
Okay.
Only in later days, when I'm about 15, 16, 17, when they talk about England. People want to go to England for a better life and buy a house and only spend 5 years and go back to Jamaica.
So yeah, my grandma's reiterated. I hope everyone can hear exactly what Sister Sandra said there, with the spend 3 or 5 years and then you go back home. For my grandma, that would have been Jamaica. But so when you were growing up then, what were you doing before you actually came here to England? What were you doing?
I went to school. I went bank school.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was there till I was.
Hold on.
16.
Let me make sure that everyone, because everyone can't hear you, Grandma. So I'm going to ask you just to come a bit forward, please, because everyone wants to hear your story. There we go. All right. So hopefully everyone can hear you now. Go ahead.
I went to Red Bank School, and
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother children, they went to a Morningside school. There was two different schools, because my grandmother had 18 children. And then all her children grow up and they start having children, because I was a grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to a different school. And then I was at school until I was 16. And then we left, and our grandparents, they didn't have much, but we never hungry, because there was mangoes, there was every food what you can think about. So everybody was okay. And my mother left and went to Kingston to work. And then she sent for me after a while. And then I started to do dressmaking, but I didn't finish. And I went to office and work. And then I met my husband, and then he came here, and then he sent for me. I came there when I was 24.
Wow. Okay. So when you arrived, before you arrived, Grandma, how did you prepare for the trip to come to England?
You have to go and get your birth certificate.
Mhm.
And you have to go and have your photograph taken.
Mhm.
And then you go to the passport office. And after you had the passport, now you have to wait again because I was home for independence.
Mhm.
So when independence came now, it was rough because a lot of people, they just turn you down, they turn you left, right, and center. And they're asking you, how long do you think it will take and before you are married?
Oh.
And when I came, they gave us 3 months.
Wow.
So I came in September.
Mhm.
And I got married on the last Saturday in March,
Okay.
1963.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you actually come into the country? What mode of transport did you take?
I came by plane, British Airways.
Oh, you see, I'm a grandmother posh, everybody.
And my fare was £85.
But that's a lot of money back then, no?
Of course.
Oh, so granddad sent for you?
Yes, but he didn't have the money, so he borrowed from my aunt who was here many years before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, you see, I come from posh family, 85 pounds. BA. She didn't even take charter plane. She come by British Airways. But how did granddad arrive?
So he came by boat.
Okay.
The SK or the Gold or one of those.
Okay, so you were 24 when you arrived. And when you arrived, where did you live first?
Alexander Road.
So that's near the
No, 68 Alexander Road in Addiscombe.
Addiscombe. Okay. And whose house was that? Or
Mr. Eccleston.
who's that?
He used to work at the gas board where most of the black men work.
Oh, okay.
And that's where my husband was working. So that's where he met him.
Okay. So because granddad then had that friendship, that relationship, that's how he was able to get a room. Okay. And so when you came, and how was it then? There's then 2 of you in the room.
Yeah.
And so how long did you stay at that house before you then move again?
No, we didn't stay long because his sister have a house in Wadden.
Okay.
So we left from Mr. Eccleston and we went to 32 Wadden Road.
Okay.
So that's where my daughter was born.
All right. So that's my mom, everyone. So my mom was born in that house then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then after now and Harriet was born there as well.
That's my my mom's younger brother, my uncle. Okay.
So when he was 5 months old, he was born April and we left there in September and we went to our own house in Front Road.
All right, so let me understand. This is important, Grandma, what you've just shared. So we're in the Croydon borough. So for those of you that know South London, you're here in certain places. So Addiscombe is not far from East Croydon, for those of you who are trying to place where we're talking. And then Wadden, depending on which way you drive, that can be going towards the Purley. Yeah, going towards the Purley area. Exactly, Sister Diana. But you...
Wadden Road is near to Croydon Parish Church.
Croydon Parish Church.
It is near there.
Okay.
That's where we get married, Croydon Parish Church.
So hear this. You arrived, is it September 15th? So September 15th, 1962 is when my gran arrived in this country. Her and my granddad bought their house September 1965. Is that correct, Grandma? Exactly 3 years when my grandma moved into this country, they were able to scrimp and save and buy their house. Can we drop some ones for that? Because that is impressive.
Those days, houses were cheap.
So how much was your house, Grandma? How much did it cost?
£4,950.
£4,950. Any pence?
No.
She said no pence.
We get mortgage from the GLC.
So the GLC gave you a mortgage. So who's the GLC, Grandma?
Don't ask me because
is it something like Greater London?
Yes.
The Greater London Council or Corporation?
Just like when you have Ken Livingston was in charge of some place like that.
Yeah,
It's a
like
borough
Lee
like that.
Jasper.
Yes, yes, yes.
So yeah,
So-
so Greater
so-
London Council, right?
Yes, yeah.
And
GLC.
the GLC. So they were the ones who gave you the mortgage.
Because a lot of black people get the mortgage from them.
Okay. And
Mm.
how much was your mortgage each month?
£33.
33 pound, everybody. My grandmother mortgage, 33 pound. Now the tram is £1.65. So just to put it into context in nowadays money. But when you arrived and leading up to you then buying your house, so Grandad was working
At the gas
at the
board.
gas board, but what were you doing?
Well, and my first job was at a place called a Cosmo Dental
Mhm.
in front of Mayday Hospital.
Okay.
Where they make false teeth. Just
So my
That's
grandma was working somewhere where they made false
false
teeth.
Yes, that's where I worked for a few months, and then because everybody get paid on a Friday,
Mm.
so they came down one Friday evening and they called a few of us, white and black, and said, and business was slow, so we have to go.
Okay.
And then my next job was at Jablo Plastic Industry around Pearly Way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, so when you actually moved into your house, you were working at Pearly Way, or what happened? Because uncle was born, right?
No, well, I wasn't working then because he was a baby.
Mhm.
So I was a stay-at-home mom then.
Okay.
So, as I was the only one working, but he have to do a lot of overtime to make up money because those days the only coming home is if they don't do overtime, their money was £8. But when you do overtime, the money was more.
Okay. So wow. So £8 is what Grandad was taking home. Without overtime.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow. Gosh, that's not a lot of money in this day.
In those
But in
days,
those
that
days,
was plenty.
That was
money.
plenty. I was going to say that sounds like it
course.
was plenty
Of
money.
course,
Hmm.
that was plenty money in those days, but not now.
So what did you find the hardest thing or the most difficult thing when you actually arrived in this country and during those early years? What did you think was the hardest thing, most difficult?
And the weather and the people, because sometimes when you pass on the road, especially down Alexander Road, you could see the sign up, no blacks, no dogs, no
Yeah.
Irish. And sometimes if you're walking on the street, they would cross over the other side of the road.
Wow. Did anyone hurl abuse at you?
Only when I went in the health service.
Only in the health service. So when you worked in the health service, that's when people hurled abuse at you and you're helping them.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I worked in the health service,
What did you do in the health service?
I was a care assistant.
Mhm.
I've been in Queen's Hospital for 17 years.
Wow.
And when I started working there, guess how much an hour I was getting?
Okay, so Grandad was on like £8 and maybe £1.
No, I was getting 79 pence an hour when I
Lord.
started work at Queen's Hospital.
Not even a pound.
Not even a pound.
Oh dear. 79p.
79p an hour.
And you were having to be the human lifter, no? Because they
Of
didn't
course,
have
they
machines.
didn't have no hoist.
Yeah.
Like now they just press a button
Mm.
and the care assistant have to make sure that all the residents have their breakfast, they have a drink,
Mm.
and you wash them, you are being supervised by the qualified nurse.
Okay.
But the work was really, really hard. When I say hard, because all the blacks, they put them at the place where somebody, they can't help themselves, they can't do nothing. But all the white ones, they were given the easy award more than all the black people.
What was the worst experience you ever had in the healthcare service?
When a lady spit in my face after I finished wash her, that she could see out of her eye with all the dirt. And then she had the audacity to say, "Take your black hand off me."
Shut the front door.
Sometimes you just have to just bite your lip because there's nobody to complain to in those days. Nobody. Because what, Sister White, they are not going to believe you. So there's no one. You only have to just say, "Lord, have mercy on us." That's all we could do. Sometimes we just laugh to ourselves. But I know that God was good in those days because all the black ones we used to make our own joke and laugh about what was going on. Yeah.
Wow. And what was the school care system like? Because obviously you were working in the healthcare system at that place for over 17 years, but I'm curious. And what would you say the schooling was like for mom and for uncle?
Well, RX and Patsy, they went up to Elmwood School, just when you come up there, so. And the teachers, they were racist because I have experienced it because my daughter pulled a hamstring, and look how near Mayday was. He never even took her to Mayday. He took her to my house. Then he put her, you know, the football ground.
Yeah.
He put her over that side, and he drove off. It was
He just left her.
He left her there. It was one of her friends that came and knocked the door and said that my daughter is over there, but she can't walk. So when I came out, I saw her, and it was a night. So I have to go and wake him up to say, can we take her to Mayday Hospital? So we take her there, and they said she pulled a hamstring. So what I did the following morning, I was so mad. I just went up to Elmwood School and I knocked on the principal door, and I go in and I introduced myself. And I said, in future, if anything happens to my children, don't put them in no teacher's car because I don't want the blackness from them to soil the car. And I said, racism is here. And as long as we are here, it will never go away, because I said, racism is like cancer. It got root and it grows and it spread. And as long as Black people are here, it will be here. She said, no, Mrs. McDonald, don't speak like that. I said, I can't speak like that. I said, I work in the health service and I eat it every day. And I just close the door and leave her.
So that's my mom.
And to me, that was many years ago, because that was the infant school. And even today, because, well, today in the health service, it is different, because they can complain about racism and you can read it in the paper. But in those days when we were working there, it just, nobody cared, it just wash under the floor.
Wow. So you worked nights? No, sorry, you worked days.
8 to 2.
And Granddad worked nights.
Nights at Ariston and Lad.
So how did you and Granddad then, when you were working and exhausted, because it's not easy work that you were doing, how did you both manage the childcare situation? Because you had 2 young children.
Yes, because I work 8 to 2. So when he comes in the morning, I would get them ready before I leave out, because I don't forget I was just going up the road for less than 10 minutes walk.
Yeah, that's true.
So he would take them to school, and I finish at 2, so I could go and collect them.
Okay.
So that was it. So,
but what was there a wider network that you could rely on as well? Or was it mainly just you and Granddad having to have?
And when his mother was here, she used to come around in the evening time, sometime when he was working at the gas board. She used to come around and stay with them in the evening time.
And you didn't have social media, so how did I know?
You never even have phone. Only the phone was at.
So how did all of you as a community then come together? Because you're all from different islands, even from the same island. How did everyone know how to network and come together?
Well, all the men, they used to get together. They played domino, because I tell you, in my backyard on a Sunday, that was a meeting place where they have the domino. They knock domino, they play. My husband used to make soup. Everybody come and have the drink. That's how they was. In those days, it was different. All the people they unite, because there was no stabbing like now.
Okay.
Everybody was. It was different. It was, although the money was low, I can say with everybody it was good time. Not like now.
But because the money was so low, how did everyone save and were able to get on the property ladder?
Semerah, many people work and they try to, well, in Jamaica, they have a thing called a partner. Everybody chose. So some people come here and they have the same idea. They chose the partner. So everybody can get a draw every week. Everybody can have a draw every week, and you save your money and you save it and you go and put on for a deposit for your house.
So the trust and the family unit was just extended. The same principle that was back home was brought over here and just carried over here.
With most people.
So
It's not like now when a family doesn't do it one another, but when I was here, like on a Sunday, everybody would get together. Yes, and the men and them, they go to the pub and you can come back to my house or they go to the son house. That's how it used to be when he was alive.
yeah, so Ezra is my granddad. My granddad unfortunately passed away in a road traffic accident suddenly in 1993. So that's why my grandma is saying when Ezra is alive, she's talking about my grandfather. He actually passed away in Jamaica because you both retired back there.
We were going home.
Yeah.
Because we have everything shipped home. Our house was there, everything was ready for us.
Yeah, and you were in your early 50s.
54
when my gran and my grandfather, my late grandfather, sorry, went back home. So they kept their house in the UK, but they went back home. But yeah, then he passed away. But before we finish up, because I know that time is against us, just very, very quickly, Grandma. When you look back at the struggles that you and many of your generation have had and have also been able to overcome, what would you say when you look at the younger generations now? What would you say are some of the good things that the younger generation have been able to achieve in this time?
Well, right now, the younger generation, they don't have no respect for the elderly.
Okay.
Like when I was growing up, I have to have respect. And if you do anything, and someone know your parents, they could just give you a good hiding. And when you go home, you cannot say anything. And if it take a year for them to see your parents, and they tell them you get another one, and you dare not show he or she any bad face who complain about you. But now these children, they don't have no manners. I don't know where they come from. They don't. They don't have no respect for nobody. No respect. Because sometimes you see them, and even in West Croydon, I'm afraid they have to go in there when school over, because sometimes the way they are behaving, you cannot look at them. Because babe, look at one of them one time, and the way they said to her, "Don't look at me because you pass yourself by date." That's God. Rude. Oh dear. That's very rude. And she's coming from school and saying that. I think the parents, they need to sit down with the children now and tell them that they must have respect. And I think in this time now, it is better because they can have education and they have youth centers where they can go and behave themselves. But in my prayers every night, I ask God to turn them around. And I always say, Father, when they have the knife, don't let it, as they lift it, let the hand fall at the side. That's what I always pray for. But we all have to come together and pray for our young people, because I don't see where they are taking one another's life. It's not right. Absolutely. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. Oh. It's not right. I'm so proud that I have the two grandsons here, and the way they have respect and manners, I tell you, because all I can say, manners take you through the world. And that's what I make sure say. I instill into them every day, Tyrus and Mackay. Yeah. Good manners and respect. And that's what they give to me, and that's what they give everybody. As you know, well as that. So
Mackay is my cousin, he's my godson, he's 16, and Tyrese is going to be 22 next month. So that's who my gran is referring to. Well, I hope everyone has found it useful to hear to be a fly on the wall and hear from Grandma Mavis. Some people have said, bring her back. So Grandma, if you come again, you see how you look good. She's giving me a look. She's telling me to behave myself. No, I love my grandma dearly. And as I said, she is one of my best friends. I'm very, very honored. Grandma Mac is in her 80s with all her faculties about her. Don't let anything stop this woman. Very, very proud of you and all that you and Granddad were able to achieve. And thank you very much for sharing with us, and also some of the pearls of wisdom and golden nuggets that we can take away and employ. So thank you very much, Grandma.
Thank you all for having me.
Oh, love you. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Back to you, Brother Andrew.
Okay, thank you very much, Gran. Thank you so much. Brothers and sisters, your time has actually gone now, to be honest with you. We got a lot still to fit in. We still got a lot to fit in. But Gran, enough love and respect for you, man, for sharing your stories with us. Yes. Today is about Windrush, and it's absolutely amazing. Amazing with you, that you shared with such a beautiful heart. Brothers and sisters, this is the Hidden Truth Show. This has absolutely been a fantastic element to the show. We just want to keep you strong and keep you going on. Time is going, and very quickly, beloved, before we bring on our next guest, and then we've got the main speaker straight after her. Before we do that, brothers and sisters, let's remind ourselves what we need to be doing.
McDonald's is a last name. Abercrombie & Fitch is a last name. Armani is a last name. Baskin Robbins, Chrysler, Fisher Price, Gucci, Hennessy, Harley Davidson, last name. Hilton is a last name. Honda, Kohl's, Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is a last name. Maybach is a last name. Nordstrom is a last name. Pillsbury